may need to hear this. I just watched a story, not a story, but a program. Shout out to Birdman TV. Uh, this really touched me. This for the men. This young man, 17 years old, dealing with some issues. And the young man and his brother was in the room with a young lady. And uh, make a long story short, a gun accidentally goes off. His brother gets shot. He goes to his brother, which I believe was his big brother, uh, called a gentleman by name because I don't have to write to this story, so I don't want to give any name. And the young man's brother, as he was transitioning, he just told his brother to go ahead and tell him that he loved him. And the young man went, and then he didn't feel comfortable with the police, so he called the school that he attended, and the officers there at the school uh, helped him turn himself in. While going through that process, some people had heard the story. I guess some officers had heard the story and was telling him to talk to the other, juveniles that were coming in. And he was saying that the ages of those children were, 10, 11, 12 years old. And later he talked about how, he turned 12 uh, when he was committed his first crime. And the young man went ahead with telling a story how he was spazzing out. He had already had some diagnoses on some things, and he had he acted out real bad there in the facility that we was at. And uh, after then, I guess they took him in and he talked to the detective, and the father came in and pretty much was telling him, you killed my son, you did this on purpose. It was almost like everyone was against him. He felt like it was over with. And the young man goes into um, the young man goes into the back into the facility. Attorney shows up. It happened to be a public defender. The public defender told him, say, uh, uh, they offered the young man 53 years. The young man was only 17 years old. They offered him 53 years. The young man, no one even told him that his brother had died. So the young man goes in and he has the uh, another episode, and they then tell him that they're going to transfer him to a facility. Now, this is the story, part of the story that touched me. Now, all this time, everybody looked at him like he was a monster. Everybody looked at him like he didn't belong. Even his own flesh and blood didn't believe that he had an accident, all because of the condition he was in at that time. And the young man just touched me. This young man said that he went back and people was looking at him crazy. He had dreads and it was on his face and different things like that. And he said the young man, people, parents, and he was going out and was transporting and people was looking at him. He was looking like a monster. He said at that moment, he said he got tired of looking and feeling like a monster. After he gets uh, after he gets done with that, he said he went to the library and he, uh, found him a Bible. He said he never knew about the Bible. He didn't understand the Bible. All he knew, he was facing 53 years for a murder that was an accident. This just happened a few weeks ago. I think it was in Tennessee. Someone sent this to me and I watched it and it's touched me. The young man opens his Bible. He reads the Bible. He said he always went to church, but he went on his own. He said, but he never personally understood, who God was. And he said he would go to church just on his own, not with family. He would just get up sometime and just go to church and walk into a church house because he had that relationship with God. Watch this. This is why we talk about when I be talking about chosen people and these young people. So this young man was facing 53 years. He accidentally murdered his brother. The justice system tried to railroad this young man, black man, boy, 17 years old. He opens the Bible. He never had an understanding of the Bible because he didn't understand who God was, but he knew he had a relationship. So the young man then goes, the young man goes, reads the Bible, and the transport team is on the way to get him. Thank you. And it just so happened that when he shot his brother, the first responding officer, no other cop stepped forward, no other cop said anything. This cop volunteered and stepped up and transported this young man. I said all that to say this. Sometimes these young generation, they make grave mistake, no fault of their own. Had nothing to do with their background, not just a mistake. And the system, because of statistic, or because of they want to imprison or confine a young man based on the color of his skin. The good Lord had a ram in the bush, and the same cop that came on the scene, he had already talked to the people, apparently. He knew it was an accident. This part's alleged because I didn't finish watching it because I wanted to tell you just part of it. And the young man had literally gave up on life, wanted to take his life. 17, precious child. And the good Lord sent the same officer that was the first responder on the scene to help this man. And the officer told him, said, hang on, I was there, this. And the young man said, the police officer asked him, what do you want to hear on the radio? And I guess it took the young man by surprise. And the young man said to the officer, I want to hear Broadway, my favorite artist. And he said they took him from there all the way to the next facility. And then I'll finish watching later on and maybe touch on that. But I thought that someone might need to hear that little encouragement. One of the young men might need to hear that you might have made some mistakes and people look at you like you're still in that same mistake chapter. And clearly you moved on, but you can't get past that because others can't get past it. And I just want to encourage you, man. Hey, listen, you just do what you're supposed to do. See, because when you make mistake, you learn from your mistake and you just do better. When you know better, you do better. And then what happens when you do better, the person that's watching you, you not only prove them a lie, you prove the curse that was on your destiny a lie. And then you do what? Pursue, recover all. And when you do that, guess what? You ain't going to fail. I just thought you want to hear that. Some encouragement in the middle of the afternoon. And that really touched me. Birdman TV, good guy. I've been watching him for a long time. I finally subscribed. And I thought that story would really be helpful. It might even be saved under the facts. Different commentators that I really like, and I do rotate those every month on my channel, because everybody need everybody, and everybody is somebody trying to do something to help anybody find a way to make everybody else feel okay. Is that all right? Hey, take care of yourself and each other. I thought I'd share that emotional, good report, about that young man, because I'm pretty sure that he was in a despairing moment and he felt like all hope was lost. But if you pay the cost, you get Lord upstairs to elevate you and make you the boss. And but you got to be faithful over a few things that we can make you rule over many. Hey, take care. Peace out. I'm out.